Thank you for the compliment, though, that my project is amazing. I am very excited about my project. And hi, Marissa. How are you? Thank you for coming. Um, I think I'm going to get started. So basically, my research project. Hi, Dana. How are you? I'm getting ready to start my dissertation process, which is very exciting. I'm sorry about the sound, all these other things going off on my computer. Um, I'm getting ready to start my dissertation process, and so I'm going to defend my proposal at the beginning of May. And what I have been studying for all these years and all this time now is Black feminism. And I am a teacher. I currently teach seventh grade. And I teach seventh grade science for part of the day, and then I teach ESL science for another part of the day. And I've worked in the suburban school district for 10 years now. And um, it's always been, oh no, the sound stopped. Are you able to hear me now? I hope so. Just saying the sound is cut off. Hello? My volume is up as loud as it can go. I wonder if it would help if I wonder if it would help if I use my. Oh, that's better. Okay, I think something about if I hold my computer on my lap, people can't hear me. But if I hold it up for whatever reason, then people can hear me. Okay, so you guys can hear me now. So I'm not sure how much you were able to hear before, but I'm a seventh grade science teacher and an ESL science teacher, and I work in a suburb in Metro Detroit. And I've been I'll keep holding it up then. And I've been working in my school district for 10 years. And so it's been interesting, to say the least, as a teacher who is in the minority and seeing how politics and everything gets played out in a school district. And so at my school that I work at, I think, let me see, right now there are 4 African American teachers, and in my building we probably have the most African American teachers in one building compared to the other buildings in our district. So I'm just interested I've been studying Black feminism, like I said, and so I'm interested in how Black teachers who do work in the suburbs, how they othermother students. And so for those who don't know, othermothering is it is rooted in Black culture. It's rooted from West Africa in terms of community mothering, and then that was carried on here as like over time. You can see how it happened during slavery. You can also see evidence of it during Reconstruction. Just there's so many different evidences of how othermothering has trickled down through our ancestry and our lineage, and it even occurs today. So what I'm curious to see is how teachers, particularly Black teachers in suburban contexts, othermother students, because there's a lot of work about Black teachers othermothering. Hi, Dar, how are you? There's a lot of things written about how Black teachers will othermother students in an urban setting. But there's a lot written about othermothering about in PWIs, predominantly white institutions. But what I'd like to look at is how it happens in suburbs, because that's where there seems to be a gap in the literature. So I'm curious about what the experience has been for other African American staff members, not just in my district, but in our county. And yeah, that's pretty much what my project is going to be about. So having the scholarship will really, really help, because it will allow me to just get through this first portion of where I'm going and doing the research, and the time that I'm spending to code everything, because I'm going to do, I see some comments, I want to finish one thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to interview about 2 to 4 teachers, and I have a process of how I'm going to narrow them down. And then after that, I'll do some shadowing, and then I'd like to do some focus groups. Okay, let me see what these comments are. See, other mothering is rooted in community mothering. And yes, they are connected, but because I'm coming from a Black feminist perspective, and I'm writing in a Black feminist autoethnography, excuse me, what I am going to be looking at is like the history in Black culture of how other mothering has taken place in Black culture. I'm not saying that it's not community mothering, because I have written about that, but it's important to me to acknowledge the historical sense in terms of our lineage. Hi, Jennifer. And oh, someone else is here from Metro Detroit. Oh, Dar. Okay, so hello. And how does other mothering work in the suburbs, do you think? I would say that I noticed that I think that in the suburbs, a lot of times we will have students who are new to our district, and they're coming from Detroit, or maybe one of the other suburbs that are predominantly Black, and they may transfer into my district. And my district is a really diverse district. There's about 100 different languages that are spoken within my district. So we have some of everybody. And so a lot of times Black teachers might reach out to Black families who are new, and will kind of say, like, these kind of help to ease people in, and how to kind of say, these are the rules, this is how to kind of play the game, so to speak, if you want to get ahead or succeed. But I'm interested in, when we're talking about like other mothering, I'm interested in I don't want to limit my research to this, but one thing I do want to pay attention to just is, do Black teachers in suburbs, do they treat Black children differently in terms of other mothering them, or do they act that way to all students? So that's just something I'm interested in seeing. Thank you. I do think that my topic is important. And thank you for that comment. I love that you focus on the lineage of Black culture and other mothering. Agreed. I am in love. Hi, Amy. I am in love with your topic as well. I lived in Mali, West Africa for a year. Oh, that's wonderful. I love the emphasis of autoethnography. This is going to be a very meaningful project. Thank you, Dara. I think so. I can't help but, when I read the research, to connect to it. And I think that according to the research, I am not yet old enough to be considered an other mother. I am on the cusp of that age, but I see myself filling those shoes. And I'm more what the literature calls a sister friend instead, because of my age. But I think that over time I can see myself in that role as an other mother, and I can definitely look to a lot of the women in my own community or within my own family for how I learned some of those things. My mom is a retired teacher. My aunt is a retired principal. My grandmother one of my grandmothers taught Sunday school. My great grandmother drove the school bus. It's just been so many women in my life who have been influential in the realm of education that I can't help. I kind of feel like, but they kind of paved the way for me. And so I see myself falling into that role as well. So the autoethnography piece is really, really important to me to make sure I connect that way. Let me see. Oh, Jen. Thank you, Jen, for your comment. What an awesome research topic. Love that you're approaching this from an autoethnographic feminist perspective. Dara says, I can't wait to see what you learn. And Jennifer, I've never heard of the term othermothering and will need to read up. Thanks for introducing me to a new term. You're so welcome. That's kind of what my advisor is like. He's been with me along the way. And it's been funny because when I first entered my doctoral program, initially I thought that I was going to do something along the lines of working with African American males because I sit on several committees in my district and in my school about how to teach African American males. And I just do a lot of work with that. And so that's kind of where, in my mind, that's where I was going 4 years ago when I signed up, to start my program. And and that's what someone on my committee was asking me, like, how did you even come up with this? And honestly, I don't remember the day that I came across it. I just know that one day it had to have started when I was just reading more and more about Black feminisms. And as I did that, as I read the work of Patricia Hill Collins, just reading a lot of her work, that's probably where I first saw Othermothering. And then from there, I just started reading more and more research about it, and it just kind of grabbed me. And so I just took it and ran with it. And I kind of have now found myself to be in this small, I guess, field or realm where, like a lot of you are saying, you never heard of the term before, but I have the privilege of being able to introduce this term and what it means and what it signifies, particularly in Black culture, and why it's so important. Let me see, I saw some more comments. Adeline, I love how through your life you're introducing such important research to the sabbatical beauty community, many of whom are not academics. Oh, through your live, not life live. Okay. Yes, and I just think it is really, really important. And I think that something that's interesting about the United States and about just Americans is that American culture is very, very individualistic. And I think that Othermothering helps us to bring more of a collaborative environment, more of a collective way of doing things. And I think that it's only beneficial. I think it's different from the norm of what we're used to as Americans. A lot of times people in America, just want themselves to succeed, or just looking out for number one, just trying to take care of themselves. But I think that when you think of things through this Othermothering lens, or look at other cultures through that collective lens, then you'll see that there's a lot of strength to collectivism. There's a lot of strength to a collaborative environment, and especially, again, bringing it back to teaching, what that can do in the classroom. So instead, if new families are coming in, or if, yes, exactly, it takes a village. So thinking about in a suburban culture, I think that if you have so many different, like in my districts, like I said, there's so many different languages that are spoken. There's over 100 different languages spoken in my district. So we have people from anywhere you can name, we probably have them. And so when you think about that, and then if a teacher has more of a collective environment in the classroom, or compared to an individualistic type of classroom, I think that it will help to be a lot stronger in terms of classroom management and being welcome, and helping, most importantly, helping students to feel welcome and to succeed. Okay, wait a minute. I lost some comments. Let me see. Oh, yay, Patricia Hill Collins. Yes. I have one of her books, and I just call it my Bible because I read it all the time. When I was getting ready for my qualifying exam, and I was talking to one of my friends, I was kind of nervous about, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what they're going to ask me. I said, but it doesn't matter. I've been reading my Bible. I held up my Patricia Hill Collins book on Black feminist thought. Natalie Payne, I love this concept. I love this concept. I'm new to this term, and also the fact that you're grounding this in the Black culture context. Inspirational work. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much. I don't know what that thing was. It takes a village, yes. Hi, I'm going to watch later. Thank you. Okay, Madeline, thank you for watching. I feel like that's a live question I want to ask every nominee. Please recommend just 1 to 3 articles, authors, whatever, in this area that people should check out. I ran off and Googled Patricia Hill Collins right away. Yes, definitely Patricia Hill. If you're thinking about Othermothering from a Black context, Patricia Hill Collins, Adrienne Dixon, Dixson. I would also recommend, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I have a horrible time pronouncing her name because it's in French, and I'm not very good at pronouncing French, but Tamara Buboff Lafontaine. I hope I pronounced that right. I can type it out. If I type it out, it will look better than probably how I sound. When I was studying in school, and from middle school through college, I studied Spanish, so French, I'm not sure how to pronounce, but yes, Tamara Buboff Lafontaine, and she brings a womanist perspective in terms of Othermothering in the classroom. Okay. So again, these are the perspectives I'm providing. I see that there's some other ones on Othermothering, but I'm providing African American perspectives, because that is what I am versed in. Thank you all for the comments. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for coming in. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. Yes, I do have a thorough bibliography. I do have a very long bibliography. I'm not sure if anyone else has any other questions at all. It's been almost 20 minutes. I am surprised that I talked that long. I'm not usually much of a talker. Oh, how will I be using the scholarship monies? So, let me see. I have to pay in order for me to, because I'm defending my proposal in May, and I have to pay for that. And so that if I don't use it to either pay on that, then I'll be using it to pay for my seminar and research course. If that is taken care of and I don't use a scholarship for that, then it will cover the transcription fees. It will cover the cost of, like, I do want to be able to, as I'm interviewing the subjects, to be able to, I want them to feel comfortable. That's very important to me. And so I would like to be able to, if we have an interview, to, go out to coffee. I didn't say Starbucks, but go to coffee somewhere. Or if we have like a focus group, I think food brings people together. And so I would like to take the participants out to dinner for us to have our focus groups. Yes, the transcription fees. Yes, those are something else. I do have a good transcriber. Wait, I'm losing comments. So that's how I'm going to use the money. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Dar. I will keep you posted on the project. How would you share the results of your scholarship with the Sabbatical Beauty community? Definitely, once I finish the dissertation, however I would be able to share that, I think that this is my first time doing this, so I don't know how much I have to keep, like, I don't know at what point, how many things am I supposed to keep um, private until I finish my dissertation, but I definitely wouldn't mind making a video about what I found, um, if that kind of answers your question, Adeline, about how I would share the results. So either have a video if I'm able to. I would like to, at least tell what I did with the money. But the results of my research, again, this is my first time, so I don't know at what point I can share. I know that I will be able to share. I don't know. No one has told me. Like, do I have to keep things quiet, or am I able to share about what my findings are as I go along? But at whatever point, if and when I am, I know that I will be. I just don't know when to be able to share my results. Then I do want to share with the Sabbatical Beauty community. Oh, yes, I know. My bibliographies are really long, Jen. I'm sorry. I'm a reader. I used to be a librarian, so. Oh, oh boy. Yeah, I tried to transcribe my own data one time, and it was like 2 minutes, and it took me 2 hours to just, because I had this whole focus group, and I was trying to like transcribe every and all this stuff, and I said, oh no, I can't do this anymore. So I do have a very good and reliable transcription service. Any other questions? You guys are wonderful. You ask excellent questions, and I feel really welcomed. Thank you for welcoming me into the Sabbatical Beauty community, and I really appreciate the opportunity, because I feel like it's helped me to see what other scholarship is out there. Not scholarship in terms of money, but scholarship in terms of what other work is out there. And I just, it's nice to be able to connect with other women and other like-minded women. So I really appreciate this. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the scholarship. And I saw that was there a GoFundMe or something to raise like additional funds? So just thank you for acknowledging the hard work that people do within research. I think that sometimes the work that researchers do is kind of hidden, and people don't understand it or see how much work goes behind it. So I really appreciate you coming up with the scholarship to just acknowledge some of the hard work and labor that people are doing out here. And I thank everybody for their time, for spending time either listening to me talk or spending time voting for me, or voting for other people. I really just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and that I appreciate it. Oh, okay. So now they have 2 full $1,000 scholarships and a $300 prize. So yeah, like I said, all I can just say is thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for letting me get on at the last minute tonight. But I figured the early bird gets the worm. That's what my thought process was. When I saw the message that we could go live, I said, well, early bird gets the worm. So let me get on out here and and try and put my bid in first. My dad says in interviews always be the first one to interview or the last one. So I said, let me go ahead and be first. So thank you again for all the love and all the support and all the hearts. I really, really appreciate it. And if no one has any other questions or comments, I am going to end this. So I'll give it a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and end. I'm a teacher. I have wait time, so I can just sit here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit end live video. So again, thank you so much, and I hope that everyone has a fantastic night. Thank you again. Thank you for the opportunity.